At 36, her family did not want her to get married. My people, Amara owned 3 beauty salons in Ikeja. She sold Brazilian hair, Peruvian hair, Vietnamese hair, closures, frontals, wigs, everything a woman needed to feel glamorous. She traveled to China and Vietnam 4 times a year to buy hair directly from suppliers. Her father passed away when she was 14, and her mother barely managed to feed 6 children on the little she earned selling goods at a local market. Amara, as the eldest, began helping by frying puff-puff after school and braiding hair on weekends. After finishing secondary school, there was no money for university. Amara became an apprentice at a nearby salon, and after 3 years, she started doing hair from home until she saved enough to open her own shop. By 25, she had her first salon. By 28, she had 2. By 30, she had 3, traveling abroad to source inventory. She was earning very well, enough to take care of everyone. Amara lived with her mother and younger brothers, Prince Emmanuel and Daniel, in a house she purchased at 32. It was a spacious 4-bedroom home in a quiet neighborhood. She paid for everything such as utilities, groceries, that even data bundles she bought for them. Her younger sisters, Ifeoma and Blessing, were married with children. Ifeoma had 3 children in 4 years. Blessing had 3 as well. Amara became the aunt who covered school fees, bought clothes, and gave money for birthdays. She gave David funds for his welding business whenever he needed it. She never said no when her family required anything. Men approached her often. Some were clearly after her money, and she could tell immediately. Others were genuine, respectable men with their own careers and ambitions. The first serious one was Solomon. He worked at a bank, quiet and respectful. They dated for 6 months. When she brought him home to meet her family, her mother barely looked at him. Solomon had brought gifts, but her mother accepted them silently, leaving them by the door before walking into her room. Daniel, the eldest of the boys, came out to greet them, but her mother called him back. Solomon sat alone with Amara in the living room for 30 minutes. The silence was suffocating. He left feeling unwelcome. 2 weeks later, he ended the relationship. Amara was hurt, but she moved on. Then came Raymond. Raymond owned a transportation company with several buses. She invited him for Sunday lunch. Daniel was present. The moment Raymond sat down, Daniel started interrogating him: how many buses he owned, his monthly profits, could he transport equipment at a discount. The questions were relentless. After lunch, Daniel told Amara that Raymond only cared about money. Raymond stopped calling after that visit. Then there was Emeka. He was a civil engineer. After 5 months, he proposed to Amara. Ifeoma, using an unknown number, texted him with claims that Amara had massive debts, borrowed from dangerous people, and was not as successful as she appeared. Confused, Emeka grew distant. The relationship slowly faded. Ifeoma comforted Amara, saying Emeka wasn't the right man, that the right one would come. The pattern continued. Blessing told one suitor, Tunde, that Amara was still seeing an ex-boyfriend. She made up elaborate stories about a man who never existed. Tunde could not handle the drama. Their mother served another man, Femi, lunch without water, claiming there was none. Femi never called again. Each time Amara confronted her family, they acted innocent, claiming they were protecting her from unsuitable men. She doubted herself, wondering if they knew better. Deep down, though, something else was happening. Amara's family depended entirely on her. Ifeoma's 3 children attended an expensive private school, 150,000 naira per term each. Amara paid it all. Blessing's husband, a teacher, earned little. She sent Blessing money monthly, sometimes 50,000 naira or more. David's welding business barely broke even. Amara paid his rent of 70,000 naira and gave him funds for materials whenever he had jobs. Her mother lived comfortably in Amara's house without worry. If Amara married, all of this would change. Her husband would come first. There might be children. Her money and time would belong elsewhere. The thought terrified her family, though they never admitted it. They told themselves they were protecting her. They didn't acknowledge the selfishness beneath it. Years passed this way. Amara dated, and every relationship crumbled. Some nights, she cried alone, wondering if marriage was meant for her. If you are still her, subscribe to this channel before the juice continues. Then she met Jerry at a business conference in Lagos. Jerry owned a logistics company, moving goods across West Africa. He presented on supply chain management. Amara was impressed. After his session, he approached her during the break. They talked easily. He listened, asked thoughtful questions, and they exchanged numbers. Jerry called 3 days later. They spoke for over an hour, sharing details about their businesses and families. After 8 months, Jerry said he wanted to meet her family. Amara hesitated. She had learned the difficulty of introducing men to her family, but Jerry insisted. On a Saturday afternoon, she brought him home. Her mother was in the living room. Amara introduced Jerry. Her mother glanced briefly at him and turned away, ignoring the gifts he held. Daniel emerged and asked questions, aggressive and probing. Jerry answered calmly, but Amara could see he was uncomfortable. After 40 minutes of tension, Jerry suggested they leave. On the drive, he remained quiet. Amara waited for rejection. Instead, Jerry said he understood. Her family feared she would stop supporting them if she married. This didn't change his feelings. Amara cried. No man had ever understood her before, let alone stayed. Her family's interference intensified. Daniel called Jerry late at night, asking for business advice, loans, and contracts. Jerry was polite but firm, directing him back to Amara. He was accused of arrogance and of trying to separate her from her family. Ifeoma invited them for lunch, lecturing Jerry about children and time running out, painting Amara as desperate. Jerry held Amara's hand and told her he loved her as she was. Then Blessing arranged a trap. She invited Jerry to her child's birthday party, making sure her friend Rita, a single beautiful woman, was there. Rita laughed at everything Jerry said, touched his arm, and requested his phone number for a fake business pitch. Jerry remained polite, close to Amara. Later, he showed Amara all the flirtatious messages. Amara felt sick. She asked why he stayed. He said it was because he loved her and wanted to build a life with her, away from all this. One Saturday, Amara overheard her family plotting. She had gone to deliver school fees to Ifeoma, entering through the back. In the kitchen, she heard voices. Ifeoma said they needed to separate Amara from Jerry. Blessing suggested claiming Amara had health problems preventing children. Their mother paused, then said nothing. Ifeoma added, they must ensure Amara never married Jerry or anyone, or their lifestyle would collapse. Amara froze. These were the people she sacrificed everything for, the people she traveled abroad for, worked tirelessly for, and they plotted to keep her alone, useful. She left quietly and drove straight to Jerry. She told him everything, crying until she could not cry anymore. Jerry held her, saying nothing, just holding her. When she calmed down, she told him she was ready to marry, ready to choose herself, to walk away from her family if necessary. Jerry said yes immediately. They would marry quickly, leaving her family no time to interfere. 3 weeks later, they signed papers at the registry. Only Jerry's family attended. So my people, you see? During the ceremony, Amara's phone rang constantly. She turned it off. That evening, Jerry helped her pack from her mother's house. Her family screamed, cried, called her selfish, accused her of abandoning her nieces and nephews. Amara calmly said she loved them, but was done being used, that they needed to care for themselves. She walked out with Jerry. The following months were hard. Her family called constantly, sent people to plead with her. They called her wicked and changed. But Amara had Jerry, who reminded her daily she deserved happiness, love without conditions, and that she was not responsible for everyone else. Slowly, she built a new life. She and Jerry traveled together, expanded businesses, and discussed their future children or not. Her family eventually adjusted. Ifeoma and Blessing managed. David's business improved. Years later, encounters at events were brief and polite. The closeness was gone forever. Amara sometimes felt sad, but mostly free to live her own life, free to be loved unconditionally, free to breathe, and that was everything